And where are you from?
Stanford,
Stanford, Connecticut.
Sorry that you chose me. I think I'm going to bring everyone down a little bit. So I'm a teacher. I'm a government teacher. I'm a human rights teacher.
Fuck yeah.
Hope there's a lot of teachers in here, but listen, I have a lot of students who are Latino. One of my favorite students didn't speak any English her freshman year. She didn't say any words. When she got to know English, her personality came out. She's one of the most amazing kids that I've ever known. Better humor than any of us. If Trump wins, it's her family that they go after. And I know that we're having a great time here tonight, but I'm thinking of her. And I'm thinking of all my students like her. So, that's not really related to my question. My question is, I guess it is about my
humble brag about being a public servant or whatever.
Well, so what are we doing about the young men?
Yeah.
Because 2 years ago, I was fighting the fight. They love Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
They love these fucking assholes. Sorry. What do we do? I mean, these are students who are voting for Trump. They come in, they're waving the Trump flag. We did a little mock election, and 600 kids voted, and Kamala Harris in Stanford, Connecticut, won by 12 or 15 votes.
Okay.
But
not enough.
Not good.
And it's
how do we?
The boys that you would say are most pro-Trump.
Yeah. Oh,
well,
yeah.
He's all on Aiden Ross's stream and like all of these online I mean, I think you're exactly right.
I've told this story before, but I had this conversation with my 11-year-old son. I guess about a year ago. He says to me, he goes, "Hey, Dad, who's the most overrated singer? Who do you think is the most overrated singer?" And I was like, "I don't know, like Phil Collins." And he said, "Whoa! Totally not the point of the story." And he goes, "I think it's Taylor Swift." And I'm like, "Okay, you should talk to Emma, because Emma thinks Taylor Swift."
Oh, we're gonna have to go on Taylor Swift right now?
I said, why do you think that? And he says, and I'm surprised, because I know the music he listens to, and it's like 3 different music. One's like Jake on YouTube. I have no idea. And I'm like, why do you say that? He's like, all her songs sound the same. And I'm like, all right. And he says, and she's ruining the NFL. And I'm like, dude,
your son's a busy.
I'm like, you've seen 2 football games. One was live with me, and the other was half a Patriots game. What are you talking about? He's like, when they're doing the game, all the camera always goes to her. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You've never seen a game in your life. Where'd you hear this? And he says, YouTube. And I'm like, holy shit. Like,
the algorithm is fucking up Saul Cedar? Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
To the barricades, people.
I mean, it's a problem. It's a second order problem. If Trump wins, the first order becomes protecting your other student there, frankly, and her family. And like, what lengths are we going to go to protect those people? In the event that Trump loses, I think there's got to be there's always been this sort of like problem, broadly, the liberal left versus the right, which is the compensation structure. I'm not even talking about actual like payments, but like people will make arguments in the political space on the left in liberal left. They want a certain amount of prestige and respect from their peers, and it's more academic. And the fact is, you got to go and roll around in the mud a little bit with some of the piggies. And honestly, that's the only way I think that you can get in there. And there, you know, it's just within the psyche of the liberal left, there's not enough
Hassans.
good compensation for that.
Hassan's
Yeah, Hassan is a good example of somebody who will do it.
Well,
And-
I mean, I am interested in like what the left side of the male wing of the night is thinking about this, because I do think it is.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
No, he seems like a cool guy though.
Oh, super cool.
I feel like he could be an example for these young guys. I mean, I'm getting cool guy vibes right here.
Yeah.
So I feel like you could be a role model. I mean, you're kind of a role model for me already. I kind of want to look like that guy. But that's my take. So.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is that you don't have like a self-aggrandizement complex in which you're a public school teacher. You're not doing YouTube videos about how you work out, because you definitely work out, my guy. I can see.
Whoa, hey.
And I'm just saying, like,
Whoa.
but again, you're actually like committing yourself. I think it is a huge problem, and this is my question: is in this electorate, have
Can
new
you get up here on
have
stage?
new
Get him up
Rogan
here.
listeners been born at a fast enough rate to vote versus women who don't want their reproductive rights and their healthcare rights stripped away from them? And my calculation is with Emma, it is not fast enough. The Rogan element is not fast enough to catch up with the many women and men who are like, absolutely not. This is unconscionable. But the male fragility question is a question. I mean, I think it's broadly about masculinity. It's broadly about like women. We got Chapel Roan out in here. You know, we have these amazing like bisexual icon or you know, gay icons, and we're just like loving it. And we're living it, and I'm straight as shit. You know, like, and men need that, and so it's like, yeah, where are those figures? Culturally, we don't always have them. We got your fucking Tony Hinchcliffes. I'm a comic, you know, and there's a backlash that you see in stand-up comedy as well that is absolutely a reflection of the political culture, which is the anti-woke, you know, make fun of the most vulnerable is what sells. But I don't think that is what's going to continue to sell. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'll say this, and this is the longest response ever. Sorry? Well, I mean,
Make them come. Find the clit, number one. Sorry.
Here, I'll say this. You know, I bristle when people say that like abortion issues are not material, right? Because for someone like Francesca or for myself, they are. But beyond this election, and the returns are not what I anticipated. I thought they'd be driving up numbers better with women. The Democrats do have to reckon with the fact that they're not offering a ton materially for young men, right? And
But that's the question. What are you supposed to offer?
Well-
Like, and that's an interesting question for men. It's like, what are you supposed to offer other than here's an economic platform that won't trigger you because it deliberately targets women or people of color? Like, how are you to onboard them onto this cause?
there is this whole notion of, you know, young men in our society do have to, they have the expectation of being a breadwinner, but not necessarily the economic opportunity to do that. And I don't think it's something that can be discounted. So basically, the Democrats have to be a little bit more progressive. I was hopeful that maybe if Harris got elected, right, like she could implement those kinds of policies. But
Whoa, I don't
we'll
like
say,
that.
we'll say, it may be, we'll
When?
say at this point. But I think it's a fair question.
I think a lot of it is economic. I mean, Lindsey Ballin posted a poll from Nevada, and maybe this is not true of the rest of the country, but families' financial situation today, better than 4 years ago, 22%, worse than 4 years ago, 48%, about the same, 29%. I think when things start crunching, that these identity aspects, that's how people understand it. Even though it's wrong, I'm failing as a man because I can't find a place to rent. Like, we are driving people to the screws right now economically. Like, the economy might look better, I don't trust that. I've tried to rent recently. And I think that sort of thing is leading to all these different pathologies along all sorts of different lines.
I think it's definitely exacerbating it. And, you know, I mentioned this the other day. Fed report that came out, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, sort of gave some big clues, if not direct responses, to the idea that the economy's numbers can look good in the context of how we've measured it in the past, but because of massive wealth inequality, it distorts those numbers in the same way that, you know, me and Bill Gates in the same room, the average guy has, whatever, $70 billion. But it's going to be a long-term project. I think younger people, hopefully, when people of the age you're talking about get closer to these guys' ages, and maybe even mine, it'll be a different context in which they're, you know, looking at YouTube or whatever it is. But for me, you know, part of it is just getting to that era.
I mean, this is the appeal of Bernie Sanders.
We'll see. You know, but
I don't know. When we're talking about young men specifically, I don't think those particular issues are on the forefront of their mind when we're talking about, like, the Trump supporting young guys. Like, there is a contingent of young men in this country who are literally bothered by the fact that their identity is not first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like, they are actually pissed off about it. And somehow they come across as the tough guy, like bravado type thing, and I don't get that. Like, it's just there's a misunderstanding between, like, just a certain personality of type of young men in this country that is literally bothered to hear that, like, women or LGBTQ people or literally anyone who isn't a straight white male is being, you know, put first and foremost. And it's the most pussy-ass bullshit I've ever heard in my life. The fact that they're the ones calling people soy boys and beta males is the most ridiculous thing in my life. The fact that my identity as a straight white male is not first and foremost, I could not give a fucking shit.
Yeah.
What cuck-ass behavior that is for any of you guys out there who feel that way.
Did you
Seriously.
just say cunt-ass behavior?
Cuck-ass
Oh, okay, because I was
behavior.
about to defend.
Cuck.
So
I was about